A tree. It's pretty much the first thing you do whenever you boot up a new Minecraft world, right? Then of course you can craft an axe, and then a better one, and then a better one, and a better one, and a better one, until you have the best wood cutting tool in the game, a max enchanted netherite axe. And of course you have the problem of all the different wood types in the game and all the different biomes you have to go to manually cut down all of these trees to get all of these different wood types. And I'm at the point in this series where I just do not want to manually cut down trees anymore. I've been doing it for so long, I'm tired of it. It's super boring. I don't want to do it anymore. So I had the idea to build a massive all-in-one wood factory that would produce every wood type in the game whenever I needed it. And so that is the project we're going to be completing in this episode of the Survival. Okay, I decided I wanted to build this factory in the end because I thought it would be really cool to have like a contrast where we have a factory that's generating like a bunch of organic matter in probably the most lifeless environment in the game, which is the end. After I decided on location, I set up a little camp around where I was going to build and got to work making a plan. All right, here's what I came up with. Step number one, build a massive tree that would be like the centerpiece of the factory, and it would be kind of like we're harvesting all of this wood out of the tree. I thought it would look really cool. Then step number two, build staging areas where I would put each of the farms. Some of the farms can do multiple tree variants and not just one, so I don't have one tree farm for every tree in the game. I only have, I think, 4 at the moment. And then step number 3, build up all the farms on these platforms that I set up before. And then step number 4, build a central storage system where I'll have all the wood types and all the other products in one storage center. All right, here's our item list for the tree that we're gonna build. As you can see here, we need 26.5 shulker boxes of dark oak leaves. That is going to take a while to get. And it also says jungle wood here, but I decided I wanted to use dark oak wood instead, just because I think it'll look a lot better in the end. Let's go ahead and get the dark oak wood first, just because it's only 5 shulker boxes and not, 26. All right, we've got all of our wood now. Now we can go get all of our leaves. Hopefully this won't take too long. All right, we got pretty much the 2 most difficult items, which was all of that wood and all of those leaves. And the last difficult item we have to get is glowberries. We need 10 and like a little over a half, so like 10 and 3/4 stacks of them. So let's go into some lush caves and get some glowberries. All right, now that we have the main bulk of these items, we can go ahead and get the rest of the miscellaneous items. All right, now that we got all the materials we need for the tree, let's get building. All right, well, the tree looks pretty good, especially with the shaders on. Just look at this thing. Look how cool this looks, especially with the contrast of like the purple skybox and everything. I think it looks really, really cool. But there is one thing I noticed when I was building it. We do have this long rail here that I was using for something else a long time ago. I think it was like a copper farm or something that goes all the way back to the main island. And I was thinking, even though the odds of this happening are pretty low, there's still a chance that eventually maybe I make a mistake or something and I run out of fireworks or my elytra breaks while I'm here. I mean, look, it's low right now. And I need a way to get back to the main island relatively quickly. So I was thinking we should probably build up a bridge that connects from the main island to our tree farm here. Editor Wilds here, and gateways exist, idiot. But bridges are cooler anyway, so whatever, who cares? And so let's slot this in as like step 1.5, I guess, building a piston bolt bridge from the main island to the farm. Let's go. And there was no way I was just gonna build a flat bridge with a piston bolt on it. I had to make it look good, so I went to the nether and got some quartz. Once I had enough, I got to work. Alright, so one of the cool things about piston builds you guys may not know is that the minecart is actually saved on the server side of the game. So if you're playing online with your friends or something and it glitches or bugs out in any way, you don't have to worry about it breaking and the minecart stopping, and you'll still get to your destination at pretty much the same time as you would otherwise, which makes it one of the most reliable transportation systems in the game. Alright, the bridge looks pretty good. Now all I gotta do is the rails here. Alright, let's give it a quick test run. Oh yeah, works great. Love it. Alright, now that we're done with the bridge to the main island, we can start getting to work on step number 2, which is to build the platforms that the farms are going to be on. So the idea I have for this is to build roots that are like protruding from the ground, coming from the tree, and then each farm will sit on each one of these roots, and then we'll filter them into the storage system, which will be like right in the center here, connecting to the bridge. But right now I'm all out of materials, so let's go to a forest biome. Farms actually were. Of course I did save the schematic, so I have seen it before, but I just kind of forgot how big they are in this little area. So hopefully I have enough wood, but if not, I might have to take a break and go back and get some more. But let's go. The original idea I had for the farm sitting on top of the roots wasn't really going to work anymore because of how big the farms were. The roots would just look really disproportional to the whole tree. So instead I just used the wood as like the lining for the walls and as a little border around it so that it would match the overall theme. Alright, well we're finished with all the platforms for all the farms. Next up, what I want to do is I want to get all the materials for every single farm and then put them in these chests that I left at each platform. And then once we have all the materials, I just want to one-tap build every farm back to back to back, just all at once so I can do it really quick and get it out of the way and make one nice, neat little time lapse with it. Alright, that's the first one. Alright, that's 2. That's 3. And that's 4. And we are finally done. Man, that took forever. I really need a centralized storage system, and I gotta save up a lot more items in bulk. But anyway, now that we have every single material, let's start building the farms. Alright, all the farms are done. They all look pretty good. I hope those vines don't grow into it and mess it up at all. I don't think they will. Next up is to get to work building up the storage, which is going to go right here. So let's go. Okay, so I dug out this area where I'm going to put the storage, and I decided that before I want to build it, I want to go ahead and test each of the farms just for a second to make sure that they run properly. I was really careful when I was building it and that every layer was done correctly and that there was nothing wrong, and the Litematic schematics came back good. There was no issues when I was building it, but I just want to do a quick check to make sure that nothing's broken, because the last thing I want to do is be done with the entire build and then have to go in and move around a bunch of components to make sure that I can fix something that I broke when I was building it. So let's go get some bone meal, because of course that is the fuel for tree farms, and we'll come back and test all of these up. Unfortunately, when I got to my wither skeleton farm, I realized I was completely out of bones, so I had to AFK for a couple hours to save some up. Okay, I think that should be enough. Alright, I'm going to test this one first because it's not arguably, it definitely is the most complicated one since it supports the most tree types, but basically this is how it works. You select which tree you want to use, so let's say I'm going to do oak first. Oak is selected, okay, then we get our saplings that we want, and then you turn it on by flicking this. And there's a lot of really annoying noise, but, oh, right here. I think I did something wrong. I think I found what our problem is. Right here, slime blocks touching the ground. That is not good. And they're supposed to move because we have, I think they're supposed to move, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure these are supposed to move. So obviously stuck to the ground, can't move. That's a problem. All right, let's try this again. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. I'm stuck. Dude, how do I get out? Yo, bro! Okay, I finally got it to work. Jeez! I also went ahead and tested it with every other tree variant that this farm supports just to make sure that all of the different modes work properly. As you guys just saw, it works perfectly now, thank God, and it works insanely fast. This is probably the coolest tree farm I've ever seen. I mean, it's not like I've seen a whole lot, but it's probably the coolest one I've ever seen. All right, let's test out the nether one next. Okay, warped one first. All right, crimson second. All right, they both seem to be working. Oh, thank God. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Awesome. Okay, so this next one's a little bit tricky. This lever turns on. Okay, that seems to be working properly. Interesting, okay. I'm not sure if I'm doing this. It sounds like I'm doing it right. Oh, okay, I think we're good. Okay, awesome. The dark oak wood farm works perfectly. All right, first thing we want to test is the TNT duper here. These two things run separately from one another, so I have to turn on the TNT duper and then turn on the farm itself. So let's check this out. Should be, yep, okay. Boom, boom, boom. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Next, our bone meal. Switch that on. Get our, oh, I have them in my, okay, hopefully this is enough. This door here, got him right here. Okay, now it should be fully AFK. For this one, you don't get the biggest return on the wood, but it's still a pretty substantial amount, so. And it's the best one I could find. All right, well, it's working. All right, now that we know all our farms are working, let's get to work building up the storage. All right, let's fill up the item sorters. All right, now that we got the sorting device built up, the next thing we need to do is build pipes that connect every single farm and drop them at the end of this water stream so we can sort everything. Let's go. All right, we're finished with all the pipes. All the farm's outputs perfectly link up to the storage system here. So everything flows in, gets automatically sorted and put into shulker boxes. The last thing I need to do is build the final storage, which is just literally hoppers and chests here. So basically just connect some hoppers to these chests, put them here, label them, and then make the place look nice. And then I'll connect bridge properly and I'll build a staircase so that you have foot access to the rest of the farm. So let's get started. And with the final blocks placed, the build was complete.